Should we do Watch This, Jerks?
Sure. What the top one is something. I mean, I've seen it, but it's not new to me. Who's this new to?
I watched the new Thor movie.
And
AKA Thor, Love, Cancer, and Guns N' Roses.
Yes, those things are all in the movie.
Why was it so much Guns N' Roses and so much cancer?
Well, the cancer is the storyline from the comics.
That's not fun. I didn't know this movie was about cancer going into it. I felt like I got ripped off. I want to just like have some fun Disney Marvel movie.
I said,
and it's fucking Love Story. I'm hearing like the theme from Love Story in my mind while this is playing.
I said it when I watched this movie the first time. I said it's surprisingly dark. This movie.
I don't want to see like Natalie Portman like all gaunt and like that's not good, clean family entertainment.
Did you like it?
No, not really. The first half I sort of liked, and then you know what's interesting about the movie? Like sometimes they'll like really like most of the time they'll really take their time to make sure that you know what's going on. Right? Like you'll see Natalie Portman getting chemo, right? But just in case you don't know what that is, they talk about like they just keep mentioning that she's.
It's called exposition.
Exactly. So sometimes they do that, and they do it to a point where it's like, yeah, we get it, we understand, like we see these things, yeah, we know. You don't have to keep mentioning it. But then sometimes some major parts they'll just blow right by it, like, oh yeah, you should totally know like where they are with this fucking, you know, who this guy is who looks like stars and like what's happening. Like it just goes by like the last like maybe 15, 20 minutes of the movie go by like with none of that like explanation. And it's just weird. Like maybe they had to get the time down or something. It's just weird that what they take a lot of time to explain and what they don't.
So you think they should have done a better time explaining Eternity, the Marvel character of Eternity?
I didn't even know what that was. Yeah, I had no idea. I didn't know.
I'm not saying I disagree with you or that you're wrong. I'm familiar with the character already, as odd as that may sound.
I figured I've already forgotten what in the world we're talking about.
Thor, Love and Thunder, at the end of the movie. The point of the movie is the plot is that Gore, you see, Gore's the God Butcher.
Right.
And he wants to kill all the gods.
He was good. I like that guy. I like the character.
I got that portion of it.
If he could do it in one thing,
he could make a wish. There was a genie who can make a wish for.
If he finds Eternity first and makes the wish.
Right. I remember what the plot is now.
It's a lame plot, by the way, where there's like a wish involved. Like it's kind of like, did you come up with something a little more
I mean,
needy?
it's the same thing from
everything.
Thanos. I mean, that's essentially the same.
Yeah.
It's
pretty
they
much.
went from
you get all the things and make a wish.
They went from wishing glove to wishing man.
Starman. It was just weird how like anyway, it was I don't know. I wouldn't recommend that one.
I like it. I do still like this movie. I said on Twitter that I think I liked it a little more than the most recent Spider-Man movie, which is, that's a hot take. That's my hot take.
And I really like Guns N' Roses too, by the way. It's just like you don't have to like.
Yeah.
It was like there was like 3 or 4 Guns N' Roses songs in there.
I know, it must have cost a fortune. Like I can't imagine how much money they spent on the soundtrack.
Spend that burnout money.
Spend the money on writing next time.
Maybe they should have. But I mean I still like it. I don't know.
And I like seeing Girl Thor. I like that whole thing, and it's like, oh, all right. Girl Thor's got cancer.
I like the I actually think I prefer the miniseries, the Gore the God Butcher comic book storyline a little bit more than the movie. It does not have Jane Foster in it. It doesn't have Korg or any of, it's really a centralized Thor story.
Right.
But,
Carlos in the chat says that he actually really liked the movie because he lost a close person to cancer and then he saw the movie. I feel like that could go either way, right? Like that could either make you more upset or maybe it could help you.
I mean, I think they handled
maybe
that
his relative is in Valhalla. Oh, I shouldn't say. I shouldn't give away the end of the movie.
I think you've already done it at this point.
We spoiled the crap out of this movie, but this isn't it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go with it. A big it doesn't matter.
This movie is unimportant to the world of cinema. Or I should have had the firewall up for the Marvel firewall, but I fucked up. I did fuck up.
That's okay.
What else have we been watching, jerks?
So speaking of Marvel movies that you can't, there's no spoiling. I had a little Morbin time over the weekend.
Why?
I watched Morbius on Netflix.
Why? Don't you value your time at all?
I do, but I also have a podcast, and people are
But
like,
we know it sucks. So like, how many? Right?
That's sort of the problem
It
with
doesn't
this
suck?
movie. It's not even that it sucks. It just is. Like, if it was bad, like really bad, then it'd be like, oh my God, I watched it. It was so bad. I hated every second of it. But you don't hate every second of it. You just kind of watch it. It feels more like an episode of like a TV show that's on in the background. Like, it's just that kind of.
You just turned that off.
Right.
The TV doesn't
I
have
don't
to
do
be
that.
on in
I
the
don't turn a
background.
TV on in the background.
It's just kind of that. It was just kind of there.
I did that when I was.
I know that there
younger.
were a lot of reshoots, the post-credit scene stuff, which I had already seen online, but you don't really get the full effect of how out of place the post-credit scenes are until you watch the movie. And it's like, oh, here's something else that we did that's completely unrelated. It's so weird. It's a weird movie. I don't understand. You know how here's the thing. This is what I'll say about comic book movies. If you're making a comic book movie and your bad guy for your
let me get maybe get a notebook.
This is important. If you're making a comic book movie and your bad guy in the movie isn't a character from this person's comic book series,
what if
like
I have a license for them?
If you can't,
what if I have the license for them?
Well, you have all. There aren't. The question is, who are the Morbius bad guys that you're gonna?
Spider-Man.
Yeah. If you can't do that,
ask me everything I know about Morbius. I have a figure over here somewhere.
Yeah, I like Morbius in Spider-Man. In Issues of Spider-Man when Morbius shows up, it's like, oh, cool, Morbius is going to show up. It's like cheesecake.
It's every comic character from the 90s period where
he's earlier than that.
Everybody's an anti. Well, but he got popular in the 90s, like the anti-hero, dark characters that all got popular in the early 90s, right?
Yeah, he totally is They definitely, like they did with Venom, that lethal protector.
Right. Yeah.
Nonsense.
It's Punisher, Venom,
Deadpool.
It's all those guys. He's right. Blade.
But if you can't, if the person he's fighting is an original character made for this movie, then you're already like starting at a bad point. There's no reason.
Who did you want to see Morbius fight?
Well, that's just it. I have no idea. Which is the first thing when they said, maybe we shouldn't be making this Morbius movie.
Blade.
Yeah, Morbius. Blade. Yeah, Morbius.
And then they find at the end that they're friends.
I mean, that's what we all want to see. Yes.
And then they get a show on Disney Plus.
I hope you are writing this down. Sounds like you got a lot of good ideas.
That's from the Spider-Man cartoons.
Right. I mean, that's what people want, right?
Yeah. Blade and Morbius come to town and they're like, oh, we hate each other. Oh, now we're friends. Now we're going to fight vampires together. And every now and again, we're going to need Spider-Man's help to fight vampires with us. And then it's like, and they call Spider-Man up. Like, Spider-Man, it's Blade and Morbius. We got a problem. The problem is Dracula. And you're like, and whatever your nonsense is going on in your life, you're like, I'm in for Spider-Man, Blade, and Morbius fighting Dracula. You know what you're not in for? Morbius is going to fight some guy he knows. That's the movie. It's a guy I know. Oh, he's bad now. I guess gotta fight him.
I'm going to save my 2 hours and not watch that movie.
No, you don't need to watch it.
I won't.
It's very cobbled together. The special effects are not terrible, but you're not like, oh my God, this movie. It just, meh.
Well, a good movie that people should watch is The Outfit, and it's now on Prime Video, I saw. So I highly recommend that. I talked about it a couple months ago. It's like a 90-minute thriller, indie thriller, The Outfit. I guarantee you'll like it, unless you're Shanna fan.
I feel like there were other things coming out, too, that I was interested in watching, and I can't remember what they are. So, Oh, did anyone watch the Werewolf by Night trailer other than me? No one else?
I did not. Is that somebody Morbius would fight?
That is someone Morbius would fight.
Perfect.
They're a part of that whole. I actually had a comic universe. I had a comic book as a kid. It was my first comic book ever, which was a hand-me-down was this comic book that had Ghost Rider, Morbius.
How could I forget Ghost Rider in that early
Werewolf,
90s?
Werewolf by Night and Man Thing all together as some sort of weird team in this late 70s comic book.
I did watch this trailer. Sorry, I forgot that I did. Yeah,
the black and white trailer. Yeah, it's a black and white. I feel like this might be up Cheapy's alley. It's a one shot. It's not a series. It's going to be shorter than a movie. Just a one shot Werewolf by Night. They're calling it a
I don't even know what
special.
that is. What is? Am I supposed to know what a Werewolf by Night is?
Werewolf by Night is a Marvel character.
His name is Werewolf by Night?
That's the name of the comic book.
What's his name?
His name is Jack Russell.
Does he have a name? Werewolf name?
Terrier.
Wait, his name is Jack Russell?
He is Terrier.
Did Kojima make this game?
I mean, it's a funny name. It is a funny name. His name is Jack Russell. He's a werewolf.
I'm out. I'm already out. You lost me, Jack Russell.
And it's like a one shot. It's supposed to be
like funny?
It's supposed to be like the trailer has this kind of grindhouse feel to it, where it's like shaky film footage and a little grainy. It's in black and white. I don't know. I think you might like this one. I haven't seen it. That comes out in like 2 weeks.
We'll see.
Yeah.
On the TV side, we watched the first few episodes of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, which is the anime on Netflix, which is excellent. And you don't have to have any cyberpunk experience to enjoy it.
What about anime experience?
It's an anime.
So
you don't have to have anime experience to enjoy it, but if you don't enjoy anime, you're not going to probably like this. Because it's just a good example of anime, and it takes place in the cyberpunk universe. And it's very stylized and adult and interesting.
Is Keanu Silverwang in this?
No. And the main character's name is David. So I'm immediately in. It's good. I don't think either of you guys are going to watch it. But,
with like a 1 instead of an I?
Is what? David? No. His name is David Martinez. Very straightforward name.
D-A-V-1-D.
It's very interesting. Like the guy, like he's just some like poor high school kid, and doesn't fit into like the rich school that he's at.
Got some hand-me-down implants, and then
no implants. Not even so poor, no implants, or very limited. It's really it's very interesting. And there's the bullies have the good bullies have the good implants, right? Because they can bully you better with the good implants. Anyway, I don't want to give away too much, but it's good. Cyberpunk Edgerunners. You don't, like I said, no cyberpunk experience necessary.
Nice.